All right. Wait a minute here. We'll get some viewers. We're going to be joined by the Constitution State. If you have not heard of him, I'll go ahead and link you to his channel here. Just give me a moment while I get situated. I am running a little behind here. You'll have to forgive me. It's been a heck of a week here in the state of Connecticut. And I've been busy with a great many of things here. Despite the fact that I don't publish everything I'm doing, I am an awful busy member of this community. And we'll go ahead and pull up Constitution State's YouTube channel here for you. Show you what he's all about. I'll give you some context and let you know what this is all about. Bear with me here for a moment. There he is. Get the share screen action, Jackson. We got 9 viewers here. News Nebraska, thank you, sir. A non-mouse. Skunk Water, thank you. And here he is.
What up?
What up, homie?
How are you?
Let's see. Good. Let me see.
Sorry, I'm a few minutes late at life.
No, that's all right. I'm having trouble getting us both on screen for some reason. Hang on.
Yeah, I can't see you.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there he is.
There we go. Having some technical difficulties here, folks. It's been a minute since I've gone live. So yeah, I was just about to share your channel. I'm going to share a screen here so people could take a look at your channel. You could tell them a little bit about what's happened to you at New Britain PD, in case any of my audience members or newcomers haven't heard. And then we could discuss, why we were both at the courthouse yesterday, what we were doing, and we'll get into my unlawful arrest yesterday. If you folks don't know, I was arrested yesterday unlawfully. It was a false arrest. And Constitution State and I have some plans, and we've been preparing diligently, and we're going to start taking the appropriate steps and measures to seek legal recourse and punitive damages. That's going to be a big part of this, and from there we'll just take some comments and stuff. So here, let me get your YouTube channel up first of all.
Absolutely. Just let me know when you want me to go.
Yeah. Let's see. Share screen. Here we go. Share. There it is there. We'll watch a video here. Actually, let me make sure I'm sharing the audio for the screen. Share system audio. Okay. I'm going to mute my mic. So we'll take a look at some of the shorts here involving New Britain. We'll go with this one. It's got 423,000 views. This man's got 17,000 subscribers. He's doing great work here in the state of Connecticut. We need 1 million more of him. Please show him your support by subscribing right here. As you can see, I'm not signed in my account, so it doesn't look like I'm subscribed, but I certainly am. But here, we'll take a look at this video here.
Okay, so now I got to sit here
until we're done with
and waste my time?
Yeah, and you're making it bigger than it needs to be.
No, it's not. What do you mean?
Listen, wait a couple minutes.
What do you mean?
If you were standing here and you did nothing wrong, just wait. He'll check.
I already told you I wasn't.
Okay.
I already told you.
Check. So you just hang out with us for a few minutes while we do this, and
hang
then
out.
you'll be free to leave.
Yep, hang out.
What's up?
So
they're detaining me for absolutely nothing. Detained for nothing. You guys know you can't do that.
Put it down. Let's go. Put it down. You're under arrest. I'm not playing games here.
Wow. Wow. Not playing games here. Under the presumption that you're there to play games? Is that what he's, implying there, insinuating? You're just playing games. You're one of those First Amendment auditors, one of those sovtards, right? You're just a troublemaker, right? Yeah. Well, we face a lot of that stuff here in Connecticut, and it's an ongoing. It's a very serious ongoing problem. So what happened? What happened there in New Britain, man? Like, give the people a little more context.
So it was 2 Fridays ago. I don't remember the exact date, but 2 Fridays from yesterday. I was actually planning on going to Bristol, as you know. I got out of work early, like an hour early. I had a little bit of like whatever, and I was quitting, and I had people hitting me up in my comments about going to New Britain because people have been complaining about them and said they have some serious tyrants up there. So I went up there. I was there for like 40 minutes probably before that interaction. I actually, up until that point, it was going real smooth. Just did a normal audit, checked out the building. I couldn't figure out where they parked their vehicles for a little bit. And then I found, like, I did some homework. I'd seen the garage. I found out, I checked that it was a public parking garage. I had a lot of people arguing with me, trying to tell me that it wasn't public. So yesterday, when actually you were locked up, I went back and I took pictures of the sign so everybody knows that it's public. Once I got into the garage to their area, I was literally, they have a bridge that goes from the police station to the parking garage, so they don't have to go outside. And
it connects to the two buildings, just so people are clear.
Yep.
There's a big parking garage here on one side, and then there's a name for it. It's like a covered bridge, but there's a different architectural name for it. But it connects.
It's like a tunnel.
The tunnel, right? And it's off the ground quite a ways.
Yeah, it's like 3 stories. Oh,
and
that's where the police station to go to their vehicle. So I was literally only filming that door in public area. I was completely allowed to do what I was doing. I actually had an officer. There's another short of the officer who ended up being a real tyrant, came up to me at first and said, you know, not to cross this line. And you know what I mean? Typical directive stuff. And I was polite to him. I've been really trying to be polite to people. So like, yep, I know, we're good. So that pretty much guaranteed that I was allowed to be there. So within there, you could tell some people didn't like it. They were walking by, staring at me. One dude actually talked to him. That's why he came and talked to me originally. Then there was a real Karen from Records came out and walked by. She was grilling me. I didn't say anything. I actually turned around and she was hiding behind the concrete pillar, the structural pillars for the garage, hiding behind it, sticking her head out, like she was calling the police on me. And I turned and I said, oh, look, and I actually walked away.
You have that short?
So that she could go
in a short?
It's on there. It should be.
All right, hang on.
I don't know if I made a short of that one, actually.
Is it in the
no, it might not be up.
Oh,
yeah, it might be in the whole the full video. I'm not sure. I don't know if I made a short of that. But so nice. I felt like I was being nice. I'm like, she obviously doesn't feel comfortable. So I said, let me walk away for a few minutes so she can get in her car and leave. And that's what I did. I went up, I checked out another part, and then I came back. Unbeknown to my knowledge, that was actually the day of the Bristol cop's funeral. Which I had no idea. I don't keep up to date with that. And that was their excuse in the end of why they were having a bad day. And that's why they were allowed to act how they acted. You guys heard them. Oh, you're just a citizen.
There under the
other short.
Yeah, it's almost like they had this preconceived notion that you're there to cause problems, and she's how shallow and inconsiderate someone like you, a First Amendment auditor guy, coming over here bothering us on such a terrible day.
Yeah.
These aren't you so inconsiderate? And that's all. That's not the reality of the situation. That's a preconceived misconception that's been created by we lost them. That's been created by the manufactured narrative of the media. There's a spot where he seems to be good. Hey, there's a spot in your yard while you're walking around that seems to be better than others.
I know. I'm walking to the house so I can get on the Wi-Fi.
Oh, all right. There you go.
I know.
But that's all right. I was in the middle of just kind of reiterating anyway. So, yeah. Go on. You know.
So after that, the Karen left. I went back to what I was doing. I went back to my spot on the public property, completely legal. And I had 2 female officers come up and approach me. And like I said, I've been really trying to be nicer to them and stuff. So I said, hey, and the first thing out of their mouth was, we need ID. We need your ID right now. And I'm like, ID for what? I'm like, I didn't do anything. And the first things out of there, well, you're trespassing. I said, I'm not trespassing. I never went into an area, a restricted area. I never went past your signs. I said, you should really go check your cameras if you feel like I did something, and you should find out if I did it before you come and detain me. And in the short, that's when I got like the most aggravated, was because I was already detained for like 15 minutes at that point, and they keep telling me to hang out. I'm like, this isn't hanging out. I tried. They never told me I was detained, but I tried to walk away twice. I'm like, I'm going to continue my business. Both times they grabbed me.
Well, in fact, it was heard very clearly just moments ago. They said, well, we don't know if he even went back there or not.
Yeah,
and
if you listen to that short,
you committed a crime, and they're detaining you, trying to see if they can hem you up with something. And then because they're getting frustrated within their own minds because they can't, it's just, you know what, we're not playing these games. You're under arrest. We'll let you figure it out in court. And we'll
job
all
and a
the
right to our
taxpayers'
game.
money. Right. And you know what? We're going to find out just how deep the rabbit hole goes. We're going to see if they waste everyone's money and resources on allowing this to go to trial by jury instead of just dismissing it based on the case law that we have. You know, I don't know if you want to talk about that in a little while, but there's
absolutely. The people need to know about that, because that's not the cops don't even know about it. You know what I mean? So we got to get it out there. That's how I feel.
Right. So you get by the Karen, you get in, you get into that situation with the cops, and then boom, it's turned into this criminal court case that you were trying to file an appearance for yesterday, right? We went to the New Britain courthouse yesterday. Tell the folks what happened. And you know, like my premise for being there with you is to support you in your efforts to properly and efficiently file an appearance and file motions in preparation for the potential of going to trial by jury. You know, we were there with the hopes to try to get you a dismissal yesterday. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That was the goal.
We didn't have any intentions of filming in that courthouse, did we?
No, not at all.
Did we have our cameras on?
No. And that's what people keep twisting up.
Did we have our gimbals in our hand?
We had nothing. We had our phones in our pockets, and we had our normal belongings. That was it. Nothing for recording. That's
it. Okay. And now tell the people what happened.
So we get to the courthouse. We didn't even do any pre-filming outside like I wanted to. I wanted to give a little show before we went in to update all my people. And, you know, I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, we're not even going to do that right now. I said, let's just get this out of the way. So we go in. I go through the metal detector. No problem at all. I did have 2 phones on me, but they weren't going. They didn't say anything. They gave me my belongings as I was gathering my stuff. Mr. Tyrant Slayer here was going through, and everything was going fine until the marshal, he saw that in your pocket. What was it?
I have, you know what? I'll go and get it. It'll just take me a second.
Go ahead.
It's all right.
But it was crazy. They saw this thing in his pocket, and it changed their whole attitude towards us. I forgot the word they used.
Okay, so normally I carry this anytime I'm doing anything engaging any part of the public, you know, if I'm doing something public business, if I'm going to the police department anywhere, and I expect to engage public officials, I always used to carry this lanyard. It was something I would wear. I put my my Cash App card in there, so and try to pass that off as that could be used as my press credential. That's a form of ID, really. And behind it there is an exemption for masks and reference to the ADA. On the back side, you have a copy of the actual U.S. Code, Constitutional Title 18, Section 242, USC, and it's just a copy of the law.
What they call you?
He sees that as he's giving back all my stuff in the bin. He's actually having a kind of a cordial conversation with us, right? Everything was cool.
Yeah, he was all right.
And then he sees this, and he goes, "Oh, are you a what do they call those guys? Oath keeper." He says, "You one of the members of the Oath Keepers?" I said, "No." I said, "What? I don't even know what you're talking about," or exactly something like that. I don't know if it was verbatim. I said, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." And then he says, "Yeah, what's your name?" He says, "You can't have your phone in here," right? He was giving me my phone back, accused me of being like, I Googled what an Oath Keeper is. It's like a terrorist organization, according to corporate media. I'm a right-wing extremist, according to the media and to the state of Connecticut here for some reason. And this guy just opens up his drawer, looks at some paper, closes the drawer, says my name, and says, "No, you can't have your phone," takes my phone. And then you can proceed. I don't want to interrupt your version of the story, but, you know.
You want me to go? So when he took your phone, and I'll give you credit because you stayed calm as much as, and people are commenting like, "Oh, you shouldn't have been in there recording." And I had to straighten that out. Like, we had no intentions of recording. We were not recording. We weren't doing anything wrong. So, and they had your phone. That's what drove me the most nuts, is they already had your phone. So you have to call O'Donovan.
And I cooperated, right? I wasn't.
Yeah,
I said,
absolutely.
I gave him. I handed him my phone. He didn't have to take it from me.
No, he was already in possession of it, and that's what drives me crazy. So you said, "Can I step outside and call O'Donovan to try and straighten this out?" And he was being rude about it, and I was trying to think of a way to diffuse the situation the best I could. So I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "I have 2 phones. If you need to make a phone call, I'll let you use one of my phones." And that just sent him over the edge. He called for backup. He's like, "Oh, I need backup," and blah. So they call, backup comes running out, and all he says is, "Take this guy away." No reason, no anything. And they grabbed you, they put you in cuffs, and they dragged you away. In that process, because the audio that they sent us, somebody sent us audio, you can hear it. I'm trying to find the clerk's office and continue my business, and he's trying to get me locked up too. They're like, "No, take him, take him." And I honestly feel like if it wasn't the chief marshal that he was telling, I would have been taken too, because she said, "Well, do you have a court date?" And I said, "What do you think we're doing here? Like, what do you think we're doing?"
I explained why we were there downstairs. I made it very clear to everybody.
I knew you would.
Why I was there, that you had a case. We were there to file motions. We were going to acquire your bond. You know, we were going to get your bond back. We were going to file your appearance, and we were going to prepare to go to trial if necessary. We were going to utilize the law library. We were going to print out some case law and things like that, and prepare and document. You know, I had a pencil in my ears for the specific purpose of documenting anything in writing. If at any time I felt like something needed to be retained for our documentation, that was going to be written down. Again, no gimbals, no camera equipment, no intentions of recording.
None.
And there you have it, folks. And that was it. The guy is totally triggered by his own brainwashed sort of preconceived misconceptions and notions that just like in the in police garage, you know, you're there to agitate. You're a government, anti-government terrorist. You're here to disrupt and disobey, and that's not it at all. In fact, if you were just left alone, that audit in that garage would have taken you 10 minutes or less.
Yeah, and they would have looked great, like other police departments do. Everybody acts like I only put up bad stuff. There's plenty of great interactions on my channel with police. Like, the last thing I do or feel, I don't hate police. I just hate bad policing and bad, you know what I mean? The cops that go on, that use the law to hurt us, and not even use the law, just
Do you think social media plays a role in the misconception that the vast, we'll say not general public, but the vast amount of people who use social media, and like we'll say the blue line supporters and I'm pro police and you know, like we're equated to Antifa. Like people think we're going around setting buildings on fire, and they never watch our content, but they got all of us figured out. And no matter
we're second-class citizens,
right? And no third class, I would say. Actually, I would say animals are treated better than we are. Animals they get better treatment than we do when they're in captivity.
I'd agree. You know what I mean? I'd absolutely agree. With other stuff we've talked about and been talking about, we know that. You know what I mean? They treat us like crap.
Right. So would you say that social media plays a role in the shaping of these bad opinions with no basis in reality? Would you say that, you know, the media, corporate media, puts out a false narrative and then it's pushed on social media? People make memes. Then you got the political sides divided and everybody's fighting left and right. And of course, if you're anti-police, you're one of those auditor guys. and you hate police officers because you're a hateful bigot, well, then, you know, you're going to have a channel like ours. And no matter what happens, the police are always right. And we should just leave them alone. And we're scumbags. Do you think? Yeah, that's all perpetuated by media, right? Would you agree with that?
I feel like that's one of the biggest problems we have, dude. You've seen what happened in New Haven with us, like when New Haven assaulted me, and that didn't make the media. Nobody cared. It was what it was. What happened? An officer got shot at a week later when we had to go back and revisit, and there was 10 cameras there, 10 news crews. Everybody was all over it. Like, why are we only covering?
We're gonna file for happening? That, dude. They've totally violated our First Amendment rights.
Yeah. And then we couldn't go into the press.
Like, no, they're good. They're journalists. They're good.
Yeah.
And then I even asked one of the cops who had no idea who we were and why we were there, just randomly. I said, "Oh, hey, can you escort me back to the press conference?" And what did the lady from Internal Affairs do? Remember the look?
I'm helping you.
Oh, the look of disdain and contempt.
Yeah.
And just to diffuse, I kind of turned it into a joke and laughed nervously, like, "Oh, did you see the look on her face?" Like, "Boy, I will smack the shit out of you." And she smirked, like, "Yeah, that's right. I'm in charge." Like,
and what did she do? She didn't help us. She ran us around in circles till the press conference was over.
In fact, she went down to the records department and conspired with the records custodian to try to come up with some narrative to defend her from her gross negligence. You know, she denied us services. She refused to identify. She denied us access to our public records. She told us to come back. You know, I explained we drove like 90 miles to get there.
It was. And I left work early.
Yep. Lost wages involved, everything. No, you could do that online. Yeah, I could do that online. But the law says I can do it here too, right now. And in fact, you're required to procure those records for inspection because they're in-house and they're easily accessible, and it ain't going to take any time out of anybody's day.
Yep. And we still don't have that lady's name. New Haven will not provide that lady's name.
Right. This is what we're up against.
I feel like it plays a huge role, though, because even in my videos, like, and I get people may not like us or agree with us, but if, like, my arrest, you got all these bootlickers and back the blue people that are happy that the police just violated my rights. Like, I get you back the police, but, like, you should want better. Like, I thought we had the same goals. Like, we should want better policing. Like, yeah, you back them. I just back them in a different way than you and try to hold them accountable for their actions. But, like, even when they're wrong, social media and everybody still backs them like they did nothing wrong. Oh, good for them. The officers did the right thing. They violated that man's right.
The real innocent individual in that equation ends up libeled and slandered and ridiculed and turned into something that he's not. You know,
my name's in the paper, dude.
Right. Just in the comment section regarding what happened yesterday, people are like, good. More 1A frauditors getting locked up in public buildings. That's good. They shouldn't even be in there. You know, like, that's what.
Well, and then they keep adding filming. Like, oh, they shouldn't be filming in there. That's somebody. I sent you the one. They were like, oh, well, Tyrant Slayer just does whatever he wants until he gets arrested. I'm like, dude, you're commenting and you don't even know what's going on. You said in your comment he was in there filming. He was not filming. So where do we get these comments from? Like, you read what I wrote, and
it's
I clearly
the same
wrote
thing that the marshal did at the door. I must be part of the what is it called? The
which one? Because there's
I'm a member of the what? I'm a member of
Oath Breakers.
Yeah. I'm an oath keeper. I'm an oath keeper. Yeah, I'm an oath keeper, and basically you're under arrest. I think you're a terrorist. You're under arrest. And then now tell people what happened after they booked me. Now you're supposed to be filing an appearance.
Yeah.
And I explained this to them downstairs. You're supposed to be filing an appearance. You were going to file a motion to dismiss, and you were going to back that motion up with case law and an affidavit of facts, right? And we were going to go and produce that right in the law library using the publicly accessible computer and all of the law books and everything that we would need to do that. This is basic law school stuff, man. First year law school stuff. And we were going to do that together, and I was going to help you because I know a little bit, you know a little bit, and together we could help you effectively represent yourself, right? I'm not your legal counsel. I'm a part of your counsel.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So now what happened?
So they took you, and as soon as they took you away, the lady told me to go. They didn't push me, but they made me go outside. They wouldn't let me go do any of my business. They wouldn't let me talk to anybody. So
and you have
I went outside
here.
Yeah, a court date. It was November 4th. Show up. On the bond paperwork they gave me, it said that I had to see a judge within 2 weeks.
To get your bond back, right?
Yeah. And
they
that
didn't
was
let you see a judge, right?
Nope, I didn't see a judge. I didn't see anybody. The lady brought me out a card with a date for January 6th. Come back on 3 months from now.
Oh my God. On what date?
January 6th.
Right. And I was accused of being a what? A member of the what? The
Oath
yeah,
keepers.
right. So we're terrorists, and the irony of the January 6th continuance date. So isn't that well beyond the 2 weeks that they give you? Are they going to take your bond now? Are you ever going to be able to get your bond back? Or what? Actually, let's tell the people what you plan to do on Monday, like to try to rectify the situation.
So Monday, I'm going to go to the court after work. Even if I have to leave work early again, I'm going to go to court. I'm going to file the appearance. I'm going to file all the paperwork we need to file. I'm going to try and get my bond back because I don't know how it works now, but they told me now that as the first time you go to court, they give you your money back. So I could use that $100. You know what I mean? I have kids. I work all the time. Like you know what I mean?
Connecticut is squeezing the people as hard as it can. $100 doesn't go very far in this state, but when you're a father and you have kids and you're working 5 days, well, wait a minute, hold on. Let's just full stop there. You mean to tell me you have a job? Really? I've been reading all over the comment section in your channel that you don't have a job. You're a bum.
Listen, I would put money on it that I work probably more than 90% of the people that say that.
Yeah. Where do you think these folks come from? Do you have any explanation as to the trolls specifically exclusive to YouTube? There's like a group of them that go around. They got their Discord chats and things, and they kind of coordinate efforts to target channels, right? They'll jack and steal the content, make their own false narrative at your
I had that
expense.
today. I sent you that today, right? I put a copyright strike on one of the Frauditor channels, and they're fighting it.
Right, of course they are. This is how they make a living. They exploit the innocent people and help the state ridicule them and mislabel them in their bigotry.
Exactly, because you know how I feel? I feel like if they really wanted to make a difference, instead of trying to make fun of us who are actually trying to do something, they would go out and do it the way they think it should be done and show everybody, lead by example, not take their videos. And everybody that's used my videos for educational purposes, they don't use facts. They put their opinion in the video, which is usually bogus and not true. And
I just
then
want to let everybody know too, that for educational purposes, you actually have to be a certified educator recognized by your state. So that the dirty little secret is they think that they can get away with stealing your content and use it to libel and slander you at the cost of the growth of your channel or any lost revenues and damages that you may have to incur, right? And the slander and the reputation, everything that goes along with it. They think they could do that, but really in a courtroom, it's not going to hold up, pal. It does with the YouTube algorithm that's not dictated by a human being with a brain and an inkling of knowledge regarding law. But in a real courtroom setting, if we were to actually get tied up with all these trolls online, unless they're real educators, they have no business using that stuff for educational purposes.
Yeah, and you'd smoke them every time. But it's just the system. I feel like they try to suppress us or whatever, oppress us. You know what I mean? Like, put enough on us. They've been doing it to me.
It's called stifling dissent. It's their way of making the people, creating the transparency and trying to hold our public officials accountable. It's a means for them to diminish our credibility, our reputations, and our content. And it goes a lot farther than just the trolls who are sometimes police officers or clerks themselves. Yeah. It goes further, and it's echoed by people of all walks of life. Really, it's very unfair set of circumstances that we're up against, and there's a lot of risk involved in our line of work. It's a very unhealthy line of business.
And you know what, though, is I watched Auditors forever before I decided to do it, and I really decided to do it because I didn't even know about you until after I was doing it. I felt like there was nobody in Connecticut. And I felt like with my dealings in the past with the police, because, I mean, not everybody knows, but I have a past. I've been out of trouble for 8-9 years now.
Most
And
members of the community do, and that's often used by the trolls to be like, see, he hates
yeah,
cops. He's mad because he got in
but
trouble.
it's not that I got mad. Listen, I own everything I did, but the way I was treated at the house I'm at right now, dude, I can show you guys the yard. They beat me up in this backyard. They beat me bad in this front yard right here, Willimantic Police, because I ran right down there off of West Ave. I got away and I got to my house, and my kid's mother talked me into turning myself in. So I sat on my front porch, and they pulled up with like 8 cars. Like 10 minutes later, I had my hands up. I was smoking a cigarette. I said, "You guys can take me," and they whooped me. They whooped me bad. I had a baby hernia before they did that. After they beat me, they brought me to lockup, and it was bad. The thing was sticking out so bad. I said, "I need medical
They
attention."
rattled your prior injury, your prior.
Yeah, they wouldn't. And the best part about that is I had been to the doctor like 2 weeks before that, and the doctor was like, "It's not that bad. We're gonna wait till it gets worse to do surgery." So it was all documented. Like, and then that happened. They wouldn't give me medical. They didn't let me make a phone call till 12 o'clock the next day. This happened at like 9 o'clock the night before. They finally let me make a phone call. I got somebody to come bond me out. I had to go straight to my doctor on a Saturday because it was the weekend. And he said I had to go straight to the hospital, and I had to stay in the hospital overnight, and I had to have emergency surgery the next day. They've ran up in houses without warrants for me, not even knowing if I was there or not. They've done a bunch of stuff. And that's kind of why I got into it. So, and I'm grateful that once I did, like, I don't remember the dude's name, but that dude linked us up, and like, I don't know, I feel like it was just meant to be. Like, we get so much hate, and there's not many people that can actually do this. And I had no idea before I started doing it that there was so many trolls and haters. And like, I don't care if you support the police a different way than I do or agree with some of the stuff, but like, these people really wish that we would get hurt. There's people happy that Jay Surreal died and that these people are dying, that are struggling.
The lack
and that's
of
crazy.
humanity, the complete absence of humanity is indicative of the very behavior of the police and the other public servants and officials that we're filming to show people like, look, man, this isn't left versus right, Democrat, Republican, Antifa, Black Lives Matter versus the Tea Party or the KKK. It's none of that stuff, man. This is just real life, in your face reality, day to day in the state of Connecticut, what we're dealing with here. If you're written off as a right-wing radical, you're arrested without cause in this state. You're denied access to your courthouse, and you're denied the services provided therein. You're not allowed to go in and file your appearance. What if it was 15? I mean, we're on the cusp of winter here in this state.
Yeah.
And anybody who knows anything about New England, the weather here is out of control more often than not, really. So we'll have like every season in one day. You wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's 29 degrees outside. 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it's springtime, man. 65.
Yeah.
Things are nice. You're like, what in ever loving hell is going on around here? Sun starts going down. You got a little autumn-esque sort of feel to the deal. And then nighttime comes and it's winter again. Boom, 24-hour cycle. You've had all 4 seasons. What if it was 15 degrees, 10 degrees outside yesterday? They're going to make you stand outside of the courthouse while denying you the right to file your motions, denying you your right to due process. Dare I say the right to due process? Does anybody really care? Like, there's a real humanitarian crisis happening here. And rather than being embraced by our fellow citizens on a large scale, it's almost like 50-50. And that unto itself is very disturbing and disheartening, discouraging even at times, and what we're doing.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So
what was I going to say? So, what up, John? I see you down there. I appreciate you, bud. And like you were saying, the weather. What's the weather going to be like on January 6th? Because I'll tell you right now, it's going to be freezing without even knowing.
Yeah, January is the coldest time of the year here in the state of Connecticut. A lot of good things about Connecticut. The state government is not one of them. And the weather, depending on how you like to be, what you like your climate like, is very, very terribly unstable for some people who live here. They get in the wintertime, there's like a change in the mental health in this state.
Yep,
Would you agree with that? Yeah,
I agree.
Everybody gets morbidly depressed and very, very angry, like vicious, rude with one another. And then like around Christmas, it even gets worse. You'd think because of the holidays, like they stress everybody out even more. Let's throw some midterm elections into the mix, you know? And people
Yeah,
just become generally unhappy in the wintertime here in Connecticut.
Well, another thing too with New Britain that I forgot. Why did they have to arrest me? They never asked me to leave. They never told me I was making anybody uncomfortable. They could have just wrote me tickets.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead, they arrest me. Then they look at how much money I have on me. I had $130, and they said, okay, we're going to give you $1,000 bond, and we'll let you bond yourself out, and we'll take your money and we'll rob you. So they basically arrested me, robbed me, and let me go free. And now I go to court, and the court refuses to let me in and get my money back and file my appearances. Like, that's madness.
Okay, so just a quick recap here for anybody who's just joined us. We have Tommy Leary here. This is basically about we shed some light on the false arrest here that the Constitution State has been dealing with. He had a court date yesterday set in New Britain, Connecticut, GA 15. We arrived at that courthouse and anticipated, getting a lot done to help this man proclaim and prove his innocence, get these charges dismissed. And we were met with accusations of being terrorists and totally violated every which way till Sunday. And ultimately, this man was denied his right to due process, denied services of the court, made to wait outside while I was illegally arrested. I had the guy, one of the marshals was actually arguing with me downstairs in lockup. He's like, this is a detainment. You're not arrested. I had to explain to him that detainment is an arrest. I had to explain to him that false arrest, as deemed by the Supreme Court of the United States, is akin to assaulted battery. I mean, there's kidnapping charges. There's, the violation of my Fourth Amendment illegal seizure. There's a whole mess involved with this. This state creates messes to try to avoid responsibility and to protect, we'll say, a state prosecutor is like, oh, I've got a 98.7% conviction rate. I'm not going to let this guy ruin that. I want my record, so just tell him to go outside. If that's what they have to do, clearly that's what they're going to do. It's disgusting and it's disturbing, and we're talking about it. Now, when I was arrested and being taken downstairs yesterday at the courthouse, GA 15 in New Britain, I was asking why. What are the charges? What do you think gives you legal precedence to place me under arrest? And then they said, you were creating a public disturbance. So I said, oh, you're going to try to charge me with 53A-181? I says, you can't do that. I said, I was totally calm, totally cordial, totally respectful. I didn't do anything wrong. I asked a couple of questions. I didn't even finish putting my items from the bin after going through the metal detector back in my pocket before I was thrown in handcuffs from behind, while I was calmly and respectfully talking to Sergeant Oakes, who was a petite female marshal who arrived on scene and seemed to have a much calmer and cooler head. I turned to her. I said, cooler heads prevail. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on here. My name is Tim Riley. Blah, blah, blah. Boom. I'm in handcuffs. Done.
She should have stepped up. That's what I was just going to say, dude, it blew my mind that he could just call them and make up whatever he did. And they came running out. And instead of anybody, especially her being the highest one there, actually finding out what was going on. And she kind of did at the end with me. That's why she didn't take me, because I was like, I have court. I have a reason to be here. And that's when she made me go outside. But she should have took control and been like, what's going on here? Instead of just letting this guy, who clearly shouldn't be working for the public at all, and he's probably been there forever, looking at how he acts and how old he is. So he's probably been doing this to people for 20 years. And what was their excuse? Oh, it's Friday. You got caught up in the whirlwind. The same thing they said when they arrested me.
Yeah.
Oh, right. we had a rough day. They have excuses for everything they do, violating our rights. Like,
right. It's great that you bring that up, because that's an excellent point. And just to clear this up for ex-bootlicker, thanks for joining us. He's always been a fan. He's always here in most of my live streams. He's always involved in the comment section, and I sincerely appreciate your participation. Thank you, ex-bootlicker. In this state, what 53A-181 would represent is breach of peace. It's infamously eviscerated the First Amendment in this state for decades. And it is the single most, I don't know if it's the single most, but it is one of the single most overly used charges by police just to hem somebody up and eliminate their own frustration with the hopes that the court is going to slap me in the face and absolve the police department of any wrongdoing, even if they know they're wrong. It's a breach of peace statute. It's CGS 53A-181. And what they tend to associate with that is you're creating a public disturbance. Okay. And that's exactly what they said to me. And this is where I kind of started schooling them downstairs on the statute and the case law that I'm aware of, which the courts and the police departments do not even yet understand the nuance of, because it's I wouldn't say infant stages, but toddler stages. It's only 5 years old, roughly. But basically that charge, breach of peace, now has to be accompanied by threatening, verbal threats or a threatening behavior and or an act of violence unto itself, which, I mean, I was not engaged in any act of violence, and I certainly was not engaged in any sort of threatening.
I either? They charged us both with it, and neither of us did what they are claiming.
Right, exactly. Now, when I was downstairs in lockup, first of all, the supervisor, Sergeant Oakes, it's good that you expressed your displeasure and your shock and awe in regard to how she conducted herself throughout the situation as it developed, because you're absolutely right. She should have stepped up and kind of separated me from the marshal. He should have been pulled off from the desk. Somebody should replace him. He becomes part of the investigation. We all get our own little spot somewhere to talk about what's happened and figure out where we're going, right? That's kind of what should have happened. It didn't happen. Now I'm in lockup, and I actually did get a gentleman to stop and talk to me who claimed to be a supervisor. And I said, hey, listen, man, well, then you need to be made aware of what's happened. No one stepped up and did the right thing, as you were saying. It's kind of surprising that someone of rank or in the brass of that judicial authority didn't step up and do the right thing. And he's like, well, I was down here. I didn't see what happened. I'm like, yeah, well, you need to find out what happened, because I'm in shackles behind bars, with a steel bench and a stainless steel toilet. And I haven't done anything to be here. And one of the marshals even said, quote, I have no idea why you're in there either. And then another marshal who initially said he was advised not to speak with me. He wouldn't answer any of my questions. He said he was advised not to speak with me when I first got there. About an hour into my illegal stay, during my arrest, a detainment is arrest. I must emphasize that in case this marshal is watching. Upon an hour in my stay, about an hour into my stay, that guy finally, I got him to talk to me a little bit. And he said, well, it's like this every Friday. It's just crazy down here. I'm like, why am I even in here, man? Where's the chief? I've been told for, the last hour, she's going to be down to talk to me in 2 minutes. I said, as soon as I talk to the chief, I'm sure I can clear this up. And he says, well, it's Friday, man. It gets crazy here on Friday. It's been a crazy day. It's like this every Friday. So I said, oh, so it's just like I'm in here because I got caught up into the whirlwind of this. And he just, that's it. Turned around and walked away. And so there was no humanity in any of this equation. And I'm immediately written off as a dehumanized individual who is allegedly a part of the Oath Keepers right-wing radical terrorist organization. And it's only appropriate to make you, the individual who has a court date, the individual I was trying to assist in properly representing himself, it's only appropriate to make you wait until the ironic date of January 6th to have you appear again in court, well beyond the 2 weeks that you're required to on the paperwork to get your bond back and things of that nature, right? So that's why we're doing the show. That's where we're at. We're going to file civil cases. You've actually gotten a response, and we're going to get punitive damages. And if you followed the Alex Jones case, folks, there's a quote made by the state, like the punitive damages are supposed to be significant enough to make sure things like this don't happen anymore. This sort of evil needs to
Yep.
be exposed and stuff. Okay. So we're going to go for significant punitive damages here in our civil cases. We're going to try to file, we are going to file criminal charges against our officials involved, and we're going to hold them accountable to the letter of the law, not because we're sovereign citizens or soft hearts who don't think we're American citizens and we're above it all, but because we're following and using the law. That's all.
Well, we're held to this standard, so why aren't they? You know what I mean? Like I said in my video I did yesterday, when you were locked up and I was walking around, I said, how can they just kidnap him? He didn't do anything wrong. If me or you went and kidnapped somebody, we would have $1 million bond. We'd have probably 20 years in jail. They'd make us out to be a serial killer. You know what I mean? And these people do this on a daily basis.
We're terrorists
a daily
because we're
basis.
asking questions and we're not even carrying cameras.
Nope.
I was arrested within 90, maybe 120 seconds of walking into that courthouse.
Yeah,
and all it took was him seeing this.
Yeah, that was it. That set him off. You can hear it with the audio the person sent us. Like, you can hear it. Let me say something real quick. Buru, I think that's how you say it. You're the man. You're always in my chats. I appreciate you. You're always looking out. Bootlicker had said no one working for the government can be the complainant. And I'm glad you said that, because in my case in New Britain, the complainant was the records lady. She's the one that called the cops, and she's the one that tried to have me prosecuted. And she did. That's the reason they arrested me. 90U, you've been busy. I've been busy too, bro. It's just life. And John Creco, I appreciate you. I just wanted to run through because you gave a shout out to Bootlicker.
Well, yeah,
and those are my couple people that always show up and support. So I want to give them some love.
And folks coming on over from the Constitution State side, thank you so much for your support. He and I are going to be doing a lot of great things together going forward. There are some great plans on the horizon.
Absolutely.
I think we can illustrate better than we can articulate the unity that the people truly need and the power behind that unity. The power of the individual multiplies with more individuals.
It's true.
Not individuals as a collective. No, individuals as individuals working together in unity.
Yep.
There's more behind it than just the politically correct nonsense that we're getting on social media and elsewhere that would portray us as something that we're not. Boru, thank you so much for the charitable contribution. We've got a $20 Snapchat here. It appears the layout here on Restream is a little different, so I didn't catch it right away. Just in case you're scratching your head going, damn, yo, you didn't even say nothing. I appreciate your support here. United, there is little we cannot do. Yeah, thank you, Boru. I appreciate
when you were locked
up
yesterday, bro, when I was talking, he donated 50. That's what I was trying to get your bond together, man. He always is there. He's always looking out. Like, you can't. He's one of the best ones I got.
You know what?
John, 90, they're always here.
And when we have our 501c3 nonprofit established with our board and we're all legit, I'm sure there might be room for someone like Boru to have a position of some sort. The whole premise is giving back to the people here. It's really great that we get donations because that stuff pays for fuel. A lot of people don't consider, like, we're accused of being bums, deadbeats that don't have kids, jobs, and we live in our mommy's basements and things like that. That's not the reality, folks. We work hard, we have families, and every little bit helps. That's a tremendous help, and there's no real way to articulate the sincere.
You know how it is, dude. I could work every day. They want me to work weekends. I usually take the weekends off so I can go do stuff for my channel. But it's everything right now is pretty much out of pocket. All my gas, all my equipment, everything. Like, people think we're rich because we got YouTube. Like, right. I'm not making really much right now.
You can afford a GoPro camera, but you can't afford a mask. What
John,
a scumbag.
Yeah, John, if you need a phone, dude, and you want to come out, you're in VA. I was going to say, I'll give you a phone, man. Anybody that's from Connecticut that ever wants to go out, if you need a phone or want to go out, dude, I'll go out with anybody. I support the people going out and recording the government.
Dude, the veterans, the VA in Connecticut is a really big mammoth of a situation to tackle.
Oh, that's what he meant. I thought he meant Virginia.
The state and VA for help. VA is Veteran Affairs.
Okay, no, I had that. That was just me
Yeah,
mixed
VA
up.
is out of control nationally. Here in Connecticut, it's gotten better, but I don't know that it's as bad here in Connecticut as it is on a national level. But there is definitely something to be said about the humanitarian crisis associated with the VA, associated with our judicial, associated with our legislative, associated with our political, our executive. Every part of our government is
Come here. Look.
is bastardized with a plague of some kind, and
Say
we're all
hi.
just along for the ride. Oh
Leave.
wow, look at this little kiddo.
That's what it's all about, dude. This is a better future for our kids, man.
You got it. Listen, if we don't straighten out our state government in our state before we die, our children are going to be victimized even worse. It's not going to get better as time goes on if we don't correct the course of direction we're on right now. We need to secure our future and correct the errors instead of burying them. We need to get real about what's going on, and we need information to be able to do that. That means you and I need to be able to go into our courthouses and be able to film if we think it's appropriate, so that we can
Absolutely.
appropriately document what's going on and talk about it rationally, so we could figure out what we can do about it realistically and honestly. It's not a lot to ask for. This is America. That stuff's supposed to be a fundamental, man. Fundamental. The freedom of press and transparency, accountability, all that stuff.
And I'm not gonna lie, everybody knows, dude. I've only been doing this like 5 months now, I think. Like 5 months, that's it. And my whole opinion has changed so much since I started. It's insane. Like, I mean, we see it online and we see stuff happening, but like to see it firsthand, to see what happened at court yesterday, like, and I always say it like, oh, this is the worst thing I've seen yet. And every time I say it, dude, it's true. I keep running into more and more crazy stuff. But to see how that went down yesterday and how they just took this man's word who didn't say anything except for take him away. That
he was just making it up as he was going, and I tried to call him out. He pointed at you at one point.
I know.
Said, he's recording right now. Take his phone too. Take him too. He's recording.
Yeah. I wasn't doing anything.
I was like, who said anything about recording, man? And he just stared like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah, he made it all up.
Yeah, oh yeah. And you even said it to the Sergeant Oaks. I found out her name is Oaks. You were like, oh, he's just twisting it up. He's just saying things that aren't true. He's trying to twist things up. Nothing even happened here. I don't know what's going on.
I did. I was so mind blown. That's why when they were like, get out, I'm like, go. You said try and grab your phone. I'm like, give me that phone. They were like, nope. And I was like, whatever. I'm not. They're not going to give it to me. So
yeah, that was bad advice. I'm glad you didn't listen to me. I was just
I tried.
It was like a natural knee-jerk human response. I'm being handcuffed and jumped by like 4 grown-ass men,
and they were rough with you, dude. I watched them grab your hands. I seen it.
They were trying to provoke an act of
violence.
Dude,
you gave them your hands. You weren't doing anything.
Right. And they were pushing me up against the wall in the elevator or the stairs or wherever the hell they got me down into booking. It all happened so fast, and it was traumatic. It's hard to kind of think and remember clearly, right? Which is why it wasn't until this morning that I remembered that they accused me of being an oath keeper.
Yeah. Well, I remembered it yesterday. I just couldn't remember the exact words of it. But it's insane, dude. Like I said on the video, dude, you got 4 kids at home. You got a wife. You got a family to take care of, and you go out of your way to help. I felt horrible, dude. Like when I was outside, I felt horrible. You come to court to help me.
It's a testament to the old adage: no good deed goes unpunished.
That's a fact.
It is, and I knew that before going into this. And while I did not expect to be arrested,
neither did I.
I mean, I really didn't see that coming at all.
Neither did I.
You don't ever have to feel bad, just because I know that you and I have kind of got a symbiotic thing going on right now.
I'd never leave you there, dude. I stayed there the whole time. I waited for you. I was trying. If they had a bond, as long as it wasn't more than my paycheck that I had in my pocket, I was getting you out. Even if it was my last $10, I would have got you out.
Right. And let's get back to that. They gave me a $2,000 non-surety bond. And a promise to appear, but that would mean that they're supposed to charge that I shouldn't have been released without paying $200, because that would mean I had to produce 10%. But they released me. State police refused to arrest me, And I made it very clear to him. I said, "Are you sure you want to charge me with trespass right now?" I said, "Nobody asked me to leave. If
Yeah.
I was asked to leave, I would have left, given the opportunity." And I said, "Furthermore, if they want me trespassed, you can give me the warning right now, and I'll leave. It doesn't require me to produce ID. It doesn't
Yeah.
require an arrest. It doesn't require a summons or a promise to appear or a bond or anything."
Nope.
I said, "So are you sure you want to process this way?" I said, "There's a bubble I could see from my cell right here. You can see that door." I said, "They must have the CCTV footage, camera, audio, everything in that lobby. Don't you think you might want to watch that and do a thorough investigation before you arrest me here for this, or basically charge me with trespass?" And he did stop. He did kind of look like he was evaluating what I said, but he went forward with it anyway. I said,
Yeah.
"Listen, man, now in my path of legal recourse and all of the records that I obtained through discovery or FOIA requests and everything I'm going to do to cover this situation and every person involved in it in its entirety, if there's any failure on your part, which it seems to be you're willfully ready to commit, I'm
Yep.
going to have to come after you too."
And you
I said,
warned him,
I
man.
said, "Please don't make me do that to you." Right. It's going to be in the body cam footage, which will be published on this channel. Please don't make me
Absolutely.
do that. Please. So, and he did it anyway. So,
And this is a thing with me, and that I never wanted to do, because even before I seen it, I started doing this. I seen how people were. Everybody's like, "Oh, these dudes are just out to get lawsuits. That's all they want." And like the chief, I forgot about that. The chief of New Britain emailed me, and like last week they wouldn't answer me. I called them every day until Thursday. Nobody would answer me from the police station. Nobody would call me back. So I was in correspondence with the mayor, and I emailed her about it. And within 10 minutes of sending her an email, the chief of police called me. I was at work. I didn't see it. And he emailed me. I just got caught up in life, and I kind of wish I read it.
you want me to bring that email up?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I wish I read it
yesterday.
yesterday, though, because if I read it yesterday when I went to the PD, I would have been back in that garage. I only didn't go in the garage yesterday because you were already in lockup, and I didn't want to get locked up and have us both locked up.
Right. It just smelled like they were just itching to hem us up with more. That's their kind of, the state's natural reflex defense mechanism is to hem them up anytime we can. Hem them up with 2, 3, 4 court cases, get them losing 4 or 5, 6 days of wages every month. Put all these illegitimate charges on them, let them sit in a cell in shackles for 3 hours for no reason.
Yeah.
That'll get them to rethink coming after us.
No,
nope. We're not there coming after anybody. You guys,
no, we're just trying to
screw it up themselves.
Yeah, we're trying to fix the situation they created. And I'm kind of surprised that the police messed up so bad, and then we go to court and these guys just make it 10 times worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it just shows that they can really do, or they think they can really do whatever they want to do. And I think lawsuits, like, as much as I don't want to do it, it's a necessity now, because nothing's going to change if we don't press the issue all the way.
I got to move my camera so in case anybody's trying to find out what my password is.
And you can't even get everybody's like, "Oh, you got a lawyer." And in Connecticut, dude, you can't even get a lawyer to fight these dudes. I've talked to so many about the Norwich stuff, the New Haven stuff before we really started talking, dude, and nobody will take it. So unless you have the knowledge yourself to hold these people accountable, it's almost impossible.
Exactly. And even beyond that, there is a tremendous bias on behalf of the judicial against, well, we'll say the weaponized judicial of the state of Connecticut against pro se litigants, sui juris defendants and plaintiffs. There's a tremendous prejudice and bias. The Sam Agliari whistleblower case that I have touched on a little bit here is a great example of that. If you're effectively representing yourself, the corrupt judge will essentially be like, "You know what, let's just stop this right now." Like, because you are competent, they'll question your competency. And they'll force you through court order on a $600,000 bond into an inpatient mental institution supervised and facilitated by the state to evaluate your mental health. And then once you pass that and you go to court and you go, look, they approved it. I'm mentally competent. Everything's great. I can continue representing myself. They order another one and pretend that you didn't just do that already.
Madness, dude.
When you file a habeas corpus in the state of Connecticut, they don't put it in the file. It doesn't matter if you file it electronically to make sure it's in the file, because they'll just remove it. Somebody will. There's probably 3,000 people at any given time who have inside access to your file to be able to edit it and do things to it inside of the electronic filing system of the state of Connecticut right now. And we're going to do a show on that. We're going to be joined by Mr. Al Cuzio. That's going to be a show unto itself. He is a genius in his own right. He is very, very intelligent, eccentric, and very well versed in regards to a plethora of law. And he's very helpful to a great many of citizens, just as Andrew Pritchard is. I don't know if people have been following the Andrew Pritchard story on my channel, but please check that out as well. What do you got going on your channel aside from this? Aside from New Britain, you have the Norwich case too, right? You're responding to
No, New Haven.
Oh, New Haven, right?
Yeah, Norwich we didn't do anything with, just because it you know what I mean. It wasn't that. I mean, it was a big deal, but
New Haven's coming up this month, and basically, I would urge you to do the same that you were.
Oh no!
Do
Wait! No, you were right.
Is Norwich coming up this month?
Yeah, no, that charge is coming up. That's creating a public disturbance for what was I was out filming cops. I was driving down Boswell Ave in Norwich. And I guess I was doing the speed limit. Like, I'm not out breaking laws when I'm out watching cops. You know what I mean? So I'm doing the speed limit. A Domino's driver got upset with me doing the speed limit, blew around me, and then locked up his brakes and stopped in the middle of the road. Like, if you're going to blow around me and go ahead. What am I going to do? But to stop in the road, like, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you're mad about. So I sat there for like 5 seconds. He didn't move. So I went around him because there was a cop up. I had to turn around so I could go back up and tape this cop that I'd seen earlier breaking traffic law infractions. So I go around him. I get a parking lot. I go to turn around. The dude jumps out of his car, runs over. He's holding his pants like he's got a weapon, like something. Like, oh, are you good? Are you good? And I'm not going to lie. I can be a confrontational person, but like I was in the middle of doing something. So I'm like, dude, are you good? Like, I'm not even doing anything. You're the one acting up. Like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, oh, I just wanted to make sure you're good. And then that was the end of it. He got in his truck. I turned around. I went and
translation, like, oh, do you want to fight?
Yeah, he was super aggressive. Like, I wish I had my camera going then, but I was driving, so I didn't. But so I go up the road. I turn around. I park the car. I talk to the cop. He takes his car and he parks it behind the house on the private property, so I couldn't see him. I tape from the road, and I said it in the video, dude. Watch. I bet this dude's gonna drive by. Within 2 minutes of saying that, he drove by. I panned the camera on the road, and all I said was, oh, and I spun the camera as he drove by. He locked his brakes up, backed up, and this time he was nicer, but I had already talked to Domino's, so I expected him to be nicer. But he kind of just ran his mouth. I said, listen, I have nothing, and I have that part on film. I said, I have nothing to say to you, dude. I said, I'd act right now, too, if I were you, and that was it. He said, he put his finger up. He said, 1 minute. And he pulled up and he called the cops. So I'm like, whatever. I didn't do anything wrong. It is what it is. So they show up being instant dicks. Nelson, the little blonde dude. Oh, we need your ID and we need this and that. And I'm like, I'm not giving you my ID. I didn't do anything. When he walked up, he said he was there for me interfering with the other officer that was 50 feet away behind the house, not the dude that called him. So I was like kind of stumped. And then he starts talking about whatever the dude had told him that happened earlier. I was like, you're not here for that. You're here because he called you because I panned him with my camera, not whatever he's telling you happened earlier. I said, I'll give you my side. I said, this is what happened. And to be honest, this is why I stopped talking to him, because I told him what happened, which was the truth. They literally took nothing I said, and they ended up charging me with creating a public disturbance because the cops were there. That's what they said. You created a public disturbance with us being here and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not
And
going
that's
to.
a breach of peace charge, as seen on the docket, 53A-181.
Is that what they charged me with on that one?
53A-181.
That's what you were talking about. See, I didn't know that when they
It's
gave
the
me the
same on
paperwork.
both dockets, but they word it differently in each of their narratives. One of them is breach of peace. One of them is creating a public disturbance between the two towns. But they're
Which
both
is the same thing,
statute.
which is
yes,
not what I did.
exactly. And
So-
according to the new case law, State versus Basala, the breach of peace charge only stands in court if your actions are accompanied by threats or an act of violence.
Absolutely. And which was neither done. I didn't do anything wrong that day. I could say I was that was one of my first real like interactions with them since I was doing this. And I was a little overly aggressive in that. And that's why, like, in my videos now, I try to say that I try to remain calmer and this and that, because I got a lot of slack for that. But in that situation, dude, while they were violating my rights, dude, I was so upset. That was like the first time it really happened. And I was so mad. That's why I went in on them. That's why I talked to them the way I did. Because they didn't have anything. They went and talked to him for 40 minutes. And then they came over to me, heard 2 seconds of what I had to tell them, shut me down, and then gave me a ticket. So I had to give them my ID. Supervisor Marsh showed up and literally did nothing.
Right, and if you didn't give them your ID, they would have arrested you for obstruction.
Absolutely.
Now you're impeding my investigation. You're obstructing my investigation by not IDing.
And I ended up giving them my ID. They ended up giving me the BS ticket. And it's finally coming up. So yeah, I have to go to that, and I'm very, very confident I'm gonna beat that because it's all BS. I actually have to request the records from them still, because after that they solicited a trespass from me. The officer on scene told me to go talk to Domino's in person.
Yeah, we'll get that phone call too. I guarantee Nelson called Domino's, Jared Nelson.
So when I went to the police station to complain, and I'm not going to front, I tell everybody the truth. That was like one of the first times I'd really had an interaction like that, and then tried to go to the police station and follow up with a supervisor. And the supervisor was just as useless as his officers. He did nothing to help me. He actually got me solicited. He solicited the trespass from Domino's. I was there about a half hour. The first 20 minutes, I wasn't trespassed from Domino's. Everything was fine. I ended up telling him I was going to go to Domino's to talk to the supervisor once I left there. And he was like, oh, don't go tonight. And I'm like, I'm not from up here. I'm not going to take a special trip back up here just to go to Domino's. I'm going to stop there on my way back. So he said, oh, let me go get the complaint form. Was gone 10 minutes. Every other time a cop's got me a complaint form, it takes about a minute. They walk him back, they grab a paper, they bring it back. And then when he came back, he filled me in that I was trespassed from Domino's it was between 10:30 and 11 at night. So do you really think at that one moment at 10:50, when he went to go get the complaint form, the phone rang and Domino's said, hey, we actually want this guy trespassed? No, he went back there, he picked up the phone, he called them, and he said, hey, this guy's going to come down to complain about the guy that was acting up. Do you want him down there? And they said, nope. And they trespassed me.
There you go. And he gave you a trespass warning unbeknownst to, or he might have even informed him like, oh, okay, I'll give him a trespass warning. I'll trespass him for you. And they said, oh, okay, thanks. Great. Thank you, officer. Yep. We love you. We're bootlickers here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's weird though, because the first time, and I think the police had a play in that, because the first time I talked to Domino's, dude, they were on my side. They were going to look into it, all this. And then when I called back after the second interaction with the dude to update them, their whole attitude was different. Like they didn't care. They didn't care what I had to say. So you already know the police were talking to them.
Somebody, you got it. Anybody with two brain cells to rub together is going to be able to figure that out.
Yep.
You know, and while we don't know yet, it is beyond a plausible suggestion right now. It's a likelihood. You know, it's a very significant likelihood that is in fact the case, which is a great illustration of the abuse, you know, that we're dealing with. So here's your email. If you want to just tell the people a little bit about this, it shows the chief himself basically admitting that what happened to you was wrong because, you know, filming in public is not in fact against the law. It says, hi, my name is Chief Chris Shute, and I am returning the call you made to me on October the 27th, 10:22 a.m. Called your phone back and received no answer, and your mailbox was full. The incident of October 21st, 2022, in which you were arrested has been assigned for administrative investigation. The control number for that investigation is IA22-27. Video recording and or photos on public property is legal. Right there, folks. You see it?
Yeah.
It's like right there in the beginning of the page. Right there.
Yep.
Okay. Attached to the New Britain Police Civilian Complaint Form, you may complete this form and submit it via email to me. Regardless of whether or not you make a complaint or complete this form, this incident will be investigated. If you wish to obtain the police reports, now I found this interesting because it seems like they're willing to give you the transparency that normally you would not get. I would presumably they stonewall the FOIA and make you go through discovery, but he's giving you some options here. If you wish to obtain the police reports related to your arrest, you can visit our arrest division located inside our lobby or contact the clerk of the court at New Britain Superior Court, 20 Franklin Square, New Britain, Connecticut. That's pretty wild. Since you made references that you will initiate a lawsuit against this department and its officers, please have your legal counsel contact the city's corporations council. Thank you. Yeah, that's significant.
Well, and the funny part is he only put one call up. Like I only called him once. I called every day. I just didn't leave a voicemail every day.
You
and
should
other
file
people
a complaint against him too.
I will. They're all gonna get it, dude, because it's unprofessional. Even other chiefs, like everywhere that I've had a problem, every chief has bit the bullet and talked to me. It usually happens on a weekend. So Monday or definitely by Tuesday, I'm in contact with the chief. And usually I get the same excuses. Oh, like New Haven. Oh, you were baiting my officers because you were outside yelling. I said, dude, your officers were parked in the middle of the road holding up traffic. I said, I told them to stop impeding traffic. I'm not baiting anybody. I'm just holding them to the same standard we get held to.
Exactly. It's that
and they usually
they prey on the preconceived misconception about us that you're out there as a protagonist, a terrorist, a member of the Oath Keepers, and you're anti-government and you hate police.
Yeah, and so I don't know. He's responded a little bit better than most. I wrote him back a lengthy email like we had discussed. I asked him what his plan was for training these officers, not only on the First Amendment, but on what it takes to get an ID from somebody, because they clearly didn't know how they approach people, pretty much everything, how their officers treat people. Like they called me a meth head and all this other stuff. Just because that's what that's really what they think of us. Oh, you're just a citizen. They wouldn't go review the footage in New Britain. So I brought up like, hey, you guys should review the footage and let me be.
They didn't conduct an investigation. They arrested you with the preconceived misconception that, oh, we'll get them. We'll find something.
Literally. And as I was there, dude, they called 8 different people. They were on the radios. They were talking to all these people. And every time they were like, well, was he trespassing? And every time, dude, and nobody could say that they seen me trespass.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't hear it again, let's play that.
Do it. Go ahead, dude. Crank it up. I'm pretty sure she says it twice. I think she says it twice.
I don't know if he went back there or not. Right? That's
dude, that's what it sounds like to me. She says it louder because he's walking away to come get me. Like it's almost like she's like, we don't know. Like, don't do it. And that's what it is. That's why. And I wish I didn't even bring up lawsuits to him, but I was so mad downstairs. I was like, dude, you guys know you're violating my rights. Like,
hang on. Got to get the audio in there.
This stuff, it makes me so upset every time I see this.
All right. Let's see.
I got to sit here
until we're done with
and waste my time.
Yeah, and you're making it bigger than it needs to be.
No, it's not. What do you mean?
Listen, wait a couple minutes.
What do you mean?
If you were standing here and you did nothing wrong, just wait. He'll check.
I already told you I wasn't.
Okay.
I already told you.
So just hang out with us for a few minutes while we do this. And
hang
then
out.
We need to check if we can turn you into a criminal.
Look at him putting his gloves on.
They're detaining me for absolutely nothing.
Definitely.
Detained for nothing.
We're
you guys know
sure
you can't do
not
that.
If he actually went on that sign. That's the
Put it
time.
down. Let's go.
Yep.
Put it down. We're not playing games here.
So there you have it. we don't know. We're not sure if he was on the other side, and then we don't. And then he's coming marching over to you. He went gloves on. She knew it was coming when he saw his gloves go on. So she said it again with more emphasis. We don't know if he was in there or not. Let's go. Let's go.
Yep.
There you have it, folks. That's the standard operating procedure of the tyrants here in the.
Can you play the one with the fat dude where the citizen? Oh, you're just a citizen.
Oh yeah, okay.
Show them that, because that's important, dude. Like, that's how they feel about
guide
us.
me here. Let's see. Which one is it? Do you know?
That one right there.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Do you mind telling dispatcher to see exactly where he actually was or not?
I can go check the cameras too.
Yeah, I already told him to do that.
You don't tell them to do anything.
Well,
You're nobody here.
like you are?
You're a civilian.
You're somebody. Oh, so we're below you?
No, you're
Is that what you're saying?
You can't tell officers what to do.
It was a helpful tip. They want to stand here all this time trying to figure out if I was trespassing. Just go check the camera. This could be over.
Plain and simple, man. I mean, Jesus, what is wrong with that? Nothing. Hey, you want to nip this in the bud right now? Like, let's just check the camera. There's no reason to waste all this time and all these resources. And
he was the one that initially approached me.
And they're basically obstructing your First Amendment activities. And they're obstructing your freedom of movement. You've been illegally detained, and they don't care. You're nobody. You don't tell us what to do.
I mean, I know I wasn't back there. I got it on camera.
Do you mind?
like.
That's insane.
Yeah.
This is the arrest. We've seen that. Let's see. What else do you want to show? Quick.
Show the first one all the way to the right.
This one?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they approached. Oh yeah, listen.
Good, how are you?
Good. Do you have ID on you?
ID for what?
Apparently you were up here. It's not trespassing inside.
Yeah, I was.
This is your initial engagement.
Yep.
Do you have ID on you? Those are the first words out of her mouth.
And she denied it later.
Apparently,
she said, I approached you so nice.
Right. Apparently, you were trespassing back here. Do you have ID on you? Apparently. Apparent to what? What made that apparent? That's something like during cross-examination. I hope these people are dumb enough to go to trial. Under cross-examination, what made it apparent that he went over there? Right? Because they're not going to have anything to show
Hi, babe.
Anything even remotely that you went over there. That's going to be so great. They're going to look so stupid.
Was not past there. Listen, I'm not giving you ID for nothing.
Have to get some
Listen,
ID.
you don't for what? No,
You're trespassing.
trespassing is past this.
We're not gonna argue.
Okay, so go check your cameras.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything else. Okay, I'm not going to say anything.
Very good.
I'm not talking.
Yeah.
Nobody saw me back there. I didn't go back there. Go check your cameras.
Perfect.
Getting better.
ID.
Was he actually in the police area?
You should check before you come asking for ID.
Right?
You don't even have your story straight.
He was originally circling the police area, then he moved back there. So coming out.
So I wasn't back there.
So I wasn't back there.
If he was in the police area, he's 130.
If he was in the police area that was restricted, he is a 130. Okay, so back to what you said. Go check your cameras, right?
Yeah. Simple.
Yeah. Beyond that is restricted.
Right, and you know, and you didn't go back there.
Nope. And that's why I went back and got signs, though. Because everybody was like, oh, you went past, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no.
I mean, I know I wasn't back there. I got it on camera.
Not that we're aware of yet.
Not that we're aware of.
Yep.
It sounds like somebody tried to confirm.
Why is your body
It's
cam
not that
flashing
we're
or it
aware of.
doesn't?
It's none of your business.
Yeah, it is. Isn't it supposed to be on when she deals with the public?
Business is none of your business.
Isn't it supposed to be on when you?
Public business is none of your. It's none of your business. Public business is none of your business.
My safety is none of his business.
Right. I don't see a light on. If the light's not on, her body camera's not on. And look at the stone cold. See, this is the lack of humanity. Look at that face right there. Like, it doesn't change. It doesn't move. The lips are pointed down. She's a miserable fucking
Yep.
right? And she's probably angry with men.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm not going to pretend to know, but just the face says it all. And then this guy's like, "Don't worry, honey, I'll back you up." I think
Yo. And if you watch after like the full video, that dude is the one that called me the meth head. He looks fucked up. Like he looks like he's high.
He probably is.
Yeah.
Deal with
Walking
the
around eating donuts and shit.
Quiet. You'll see if it was on or not.
I will. Why you got such an attitude?
After the day we had,
It doesn't matter.
it matters.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
If you're a public,
After the day we had, I can have this attitude with everybody in the public. Fuck you, buddy. You are nobody.
Doesn't even look like he's on duty.
After the day we had, we're going to illegally arrest you now.
That's the second time he brought it up.
We've just confirmed over our radio that there's no evidence of you entering that restricted area. But I got a friend coming down right now, ready to go gloves on, and he's going to.
He's the one that called for the patrol car.
Well, then he's a big part of your lawsuit.
Yep.
Punitive damages.
They'll get it.
serving, you ain't supposed to just treat people like shit because you had a bad day. Take a day off. Take a personal day. No excuse. No excuse.
Attaboy, I agree 100%. And look at the stone cold faces.
On both of them.
What's your first name, at least?
I'm not going to answer any questions.
No?
No. Can I get your guys' name and badge numbers?
Yeah, it's species 548.
At least you gave that.
Yep.
See, I think they already know. Oh, fuck.
Me too.
We got this guy in here, and they know who he is and what his history is like, and now they're intimidated by him, too, which is why the situation spiraled completely out of control because those two females who initiated contact do not have any control over this situation any longer.
No. And if they just knew how to do their job properly, they would have been, oh, this guy's not doing anything wrong, let's go. Now they drag themselves into this.
That's it.
I'll ask him when he gets off the phone. You know what he's going to say? It's none of your business. I mean,
And I never got his name. I still don't know his name.
Yep.
I asked the chief today for everybody that was involved. And the worst part about this is when, I think it's in one of the shorts. Okay. Dude, they had all the higher ups there in suits. There was like 3 of them there. And I looked at them and I asked them, I said, you guys are going to allow this? And they said, oh, they're just doing their job. Okay, well, now you're in it too.
Yeah, that's what the NAZI S's used to say too. They were just doing their job. I don't want to say the word because all of a sudden this video will get flagged. But, well, I think we spent enough time on this today. There's going to be plenty of updates coming out in the future. I got to thank the individual who, under the condition of anonymity, has provided us an audio recording account of the incident that occurred yesterday. I have yet to get my hands on it, but I'm looking very much forward to doing that, and we are going to provide that here for you guys just as soon as we get it. So stay tuned. It'll be over that.
Soon. I got a couple of things coming out. They've been messing with my videos, demonetizing stuff that I don't think should be. They demonetized the New Britain video. I shortened it and I put back all the stuff that they said it was violent, but there was no violence in it. So I put it up again and now it's fine. So there's other videos that they're messing with that I got right now that I'm in the process of trying to get out, the little updates from yesterday, and stuff. But there's definitely, people have been asking for updates and stuff, and it's just so new that we don't really have much yet. We were waiting for court. We were hoping that we'd be able to get our stuff done and be able to tell you guys something awesome. And here we are, stonewalled for, they think it's going to be 3 months.
You were left outside like a dog.
Yeah,
Thank
like
God
an animal.
It wasn't 10 degrees or 15 degrees, right?
Couldn't go into a building we paid for.
And I was locked up. I was prohibited from assisting you in filing your appearance and walking you through the law library and drafting up an affidavit and everything and taking care of business. We were totally obstructed from our right, our due process, and our rights were absolutely violated to the umpteenth degree. And the state is going to pay for that severe mistake.
I want to say something I seen before in the comments. I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah,
John,
let's go through them. Anything you see, anything you want to highlight.
All right. John said before, he said maybe we should do a cookout either in the fall or the spring, and I think that's an amazing idea. I think getting any of the community together is a bonus.
On a town green would be ideal. Because
Lebanon.
then we're utilizing our public. Yeah, the Lebanon Town Green would be awesome.
Yep.
And then
we'd
we
be
could
right in the middle of
attract more
town.
followers. We got all the, you know, there's a lot of good Americans in Lebanon.
Well, and you know that they're messing with the tap room right there. The Lebanon police are harassing the tap room.
Oh yeah, I've seen the stories. They just park right outside the bar.
Yeah, dude, for hours.
People. Yeah.
Or they sit right down the road and entrap people. Like, they're hurting that business and the people that work there. The waitresses and everybody else are suffering.
John, I gotta say, I thank you very much for your participation in the live chat tonight, man. I appreciate your support. Yeah, I could see that, man. Thank you for coming over and checking us out tonight.
I got some good people. He's in all of mine usually. Like, he's
Great.
local. Like, that's why I was trying to make sure this would be linked, because I know I got like some people that are really into this, and I knew they'd come over and look out. John Buru, 90U.
Thanks again. Ex Bootlicker.
Yep, Ex Bootlicker. Tom's One Day Full, whatever. I don't know how to say that exactly, but all of them. Wisdom of Matriarch. We appreciate all. Yep. I appreciate everybody.
Hell yeah.
Rachel N.
Thanks, Rachel.
Bonehead 88, 90U. Who else do we got? I think that's it.
It's funny. I don't see a lot of my peeps. Apparently, your audience likes me better than mine. I don't know what's happening here lately.
Listen, and I don't even want to front, man. Like I said, this has been 5 months. 5 months I've been doing this, and honestly, the support is what like really drives me. Like, even your support, dude, because sometimes this stuff it's depressing at times. You know what I mean?
Very unhealthy.
They really put
line of work, man. It's very unhealthy what we're doing. We lose sleep. We have to deal with the stress of court dates, charges, libels and slanders, lost wages, traveling, being made to wait outside instead of being able to actually engage our own court dates.
But the people make it worth it, dude. Like, John, let's have a cookout, dude. That's awesome. That's what it's about. And I'm beyond grateful, dude, that I found you, because like it just makes us so much stronger as a team. You're more educated in certain areas than I am, and you're willing to help me, and it's a duo. And I feel like
I've been looking for you just as much.
I know.
As you've been looking for me.
I couldn't get anybody to go out with me. Look at what happened. I had my boy go out with me, and he wouldn't even hold the camera. New Norwich is pushing me around the parking lot, and I'm like, dude, record this, and he wouldn't do it. So. And it's hard to go out with people that, like, I'll go out with anybody, but people that, if you don't want to record and you're just going to be there, it's kind of weird, because now you're going to get caught up. And like the police would try talking to us, and he'd start talking to him. And I'm like, don't talk to him. Like, I'm trying to coach him through it and handle my stuff. Like, it's just, I needed somebody like you. And I really believe that this was meant to happen for a reason. Like, you're super close. You're not like I feel like things happen for a reason. Thank you, John.
It's almost divine. It's almost divine. And, I reflect on a lot of the good comments and emails I get. People are like, you guys are doing God's work, man. You got to keep it up. And I don't know if I would go as far as saying that myself, but some of the support that I get from the community, people relate what we're doing to the old Sons of Liberty and to God and the founding of the country.
Absolutely. And if our followers like this little panel thing, dude, we could do this way more often. It's just, we weren't lined up yet. We're just getting there. So
even
if you guys like this stuff,
rocky start.
Yeah. If you guys want to do this more often, we can definitely set this up, because it's important. And I think it's easier to give you guys updates and stuff like this than it is to just make a video and throw it up.
With the support, we'd be even more happy to do it. We'd be more inclined. It'd be a hell of a motivating factor for us,
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big part of it. It's because we're doing it for them. Well, for all of us. But if people are appreciating it and watching it, then it makes it more inclined to
we can walk away with a great feeling refreshed and good, instead of feeling
I'm happy with how today turned out. Lingering. This is the first one, and I'm happy with this.
Yeah, amen to that. Well, God bless you and yours, Constitution State. Kiss that little boy for us over here. My boys can't wait to meet the family. My wife.
I know we'll be over soon. This weekend coming up, we'll set something up.
Awesome.
I'll bring everybody over.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll reseason the cast iron skillet and everything, man. Like
I'm ready, dude. I want that steak, man.
Attaboy.
But yeah, keep your head up. I mean, obviously we're gonna be in touch. I'll send you what I got in a few. Let me wrap this up with my son. I got to finish this visit and get out of here. But yeah, it's stuff's coming, people. It's just in the works, man.
It
It's
takes
in the
time
works.
in the state. It's an uphill battle every step of the way, and they'll club you out of the courthouse if they have to.
Yeah,
to do that
as we
to
see.
prevent you from making progress. You got it.
Yep.
So
But
we'll carry you guys along every step of the way. Plenty more to come. Thank you very much for joining us, Constitution State. As always, it's a pleasure and an honor and a privilege. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, stay safe, everybody. God bless.
yes, appreciate y'all.
Ciao for now.